When it comes to off-the-shelf versus custom software, the most common, or the one you've likely heard of the most, are CMS. Whether it's WordPress, Wix, Drupal, or many of the other CMS technologies out there, those off-the-shelf solutions have many of their own benefits. But custom software is often overlooked, mainly because of that reason at the very beginning. You've heard of many of these products. A big reason why people are steered away from custom software development is cost. It seems like a black box. After all, you can get on WordPress, Wix, Drupal, any of those CMSs right now, and you can find out what you'll pay right now. But when it comes to that custom software, and especially if you're not a tech person, it may seem like, oh, I don't know really what to find here. Well, let's take a look at the things that affect the cost of custom software. Let's look at the differences between custom software and off-the-shelf software solutions. A big one is project scope. When you get into a off-the-shelf solution, what they have is what they have. The scope is what they provide, and you can take it or leave it. But when you come to a custom software development firm, that project scope is easily defined. Not just the firm telling you, hey, this is what you're going to get, but you work collaboratively as a team, saying this is where our line begins and your line ends, so that it can be clearly said who is going to handle what. Another thing that affects the cost is software complexity. After all, if you're looking for a blog or you're looking to just introduce yourself, then off-the-shelf software solutions are the way to go. But when you need a more complex software solution, e-commerce that affects inventory, that differentiates based on where that inventory is located, that's where complex solutions begin to take place. Solutions that were never made to fit within the walls of an off-the-shelf solution. Something else you get at a custom software firm is a development team. Now, this team isn't just one that comes along and says, hey, here, this is what you get, but instead talks to you, understands your needs, understands your pain points, and can design the software to fit those needs. Instead of you and your team having to fit your tool, these tools are custom made to fit you. Another factor that can affect cost is your technology stack. When it comes to those off-the-shelf solutions, we have plugins. Now, plugins are great. They can do a ton of different stuff. However, what happens when plugins get a little old? Or maybe you have two plugins that don't really like each other. Or maybe you want a plugin to do this, but you don't want it to do that. Oh, and if you want to say, oh, I need to customize that, well, then now that's a monthly charge. And oh no, here comes version 2. Well, I don't really want version 2. But what happens if version 1 has a security vulnerability? Now you need version 2. All that to say, knowing clearly what goes in the software that you coded, that you own, that is custom for you, has so many benefits than just a plugin to solve one problem. Those custom software solutions can really help your business to know this is where we are, this is what we have, as opposed to some other business telling you, nope, this is where you're going. Really, it should be you that gets to decide what your technology does and doesn't do. Another benefit of custom software that definitely affects costs in a good way is integration with existing services. When you started with a custom software solution, you were able to say, I want to solve this specific problem. I want it to do this, and I want it to do only that. But what happens when you want to grow? Because you started with a custom software solution, you can strategically add those features on. For example, let's say you want to do e-commerce. Well, simple e-commerce site, you could definitely do that with an off-the-shelf solution. But when it comes to custom software, you're able to say, I'm going to start here. I'm going to start with e-commerce, but I know I want inventory management. I know I want to have inventory management across multiple sites. And maybe you're growing so large that you need a mainframe to process those requests. If you didn't start off with this custom software solution, integrating with those large inventory management systems would be impossible. But because you did, you're able to scale at your own pace, identifying your business needs one at a time and answering those solutions the best way you see fit. Another factor that contributes to cost when it comes to either off-the-shelf solutions or custom software solutions is maintenance and support. For off-the-shelf solutions, that maintenance and those updates are completely out of your control. Are you ready for an update? Too bad, it's happening anyway. And whether or not something actually is an improvement for you, you really don't know. But when it's a custom software solution, you get to decide. Maybe there's a new cutting edge UI UX layout. Do you want to use it? You get to decide with custom software solutions. But if it's off the shelf, they just may push it on you. They may say, this is where the industry's going, so this is where you have to go too. With that kind of schedule, you have no idea how to budget for that maintenance and support. But with a custom software solution, you get to decide. You say, this is my budget for maintenance and support, and I'm not going to go beyond that. With custom software solutions, you're in control of maintenance and support. Another benefit of custom software solutions is the control around QA and testing. After all, when it comes to QA and testing, no matter where you build it, either off the shelf or custom, it's going to be tested. Now, what you really don't want is that testing to happen in the hands of your customers when they're all of a sudden seeing error messages and problems. When you have a custom software solution, you're in complete control. Likely you have several different environments where you can test. When it comes to off-the-shelf solutions, you can still have different environments, but it becomes more difficult to set up, and you're less in control of those environments. After all, like we've mentioned, ultimately, WordPress, Drupal, Wix is in control of their software. When you have that custom software, you're in control. You own it. You get to decide what's inside and outside of any testing environment. Likely, you want the most control possible around the customer's experience. You would never want your software tool to get in between you and a potential customer. Now, when it comes to the idea of cost for custom software, you might be thinking, well, I don't have $20,000 to solve a simple problem. And here at Code Poet, we don't think you should. Whether it's just a couple hours of consultation to get you pointed in the right direction, or it's a full-scale mobile app with a server backend, we're here to help. Now, whether you choose to use off-the-shelf software solutions or custom software is all up to you. After all, both of them have their use cases. However, both of them also have limitations. What we want to do is help you to understand what those limitations are. We don't want you to just rely on the brand that you see most often. You really should understand which solution best fits your current needs and your future goals.